enough. Huge. You can't say it enough. That's why I picked the words fast short sale. It's keyworded. People want a fast short sale. Guess what? I'm on the first page because my company is fastshortsale.org. Made all the sense in the world to me. Then I just blogged the crap out of the stratosphere because I like writing as much as I do talking. I do a lot of videos. I help people. I started doing pro bono stuff. I started posting that I would have people come to my office for free. Do I think that 100 people are going to show up on a Monday for help? No. They leak in every now and again, and you know what? When they leave, they give me their files anyway to mitigate them. I don't know why they didn't just do it in the first place so I wouldn't have to talk to them for an hour, but that is the redundancy of my life. Door knocking still works. NOD list, just remember what their mindsets are. Cold calling expired. Bless your hearts. It works. I don't know why you do it, but there are people who get success out of that. Last is media. I have been jerking around with Craigslist. I have been jerking around with Backpages. People have told me about newspaper ads. Again, the message. Help you with a loan mod, help you with deed in lieu. Then bring them in and give them a good education. Okay? Whatever it takes to get them in the front door and into a seat where you can give them a good education. Never use fear or intimidation. You don't have to. You just have to tell them the truth. And I think that's what we forget. Once you have that part of the cycle worked out, and to answer your question about, I will show you exactly some of my favorite techniques on all this. In fact, I think you get marketing pieces that I've written with that group. I'm going to throw in the marketing pieces on. You've gotten one or two of mine, I think. Are you on the 6-week cycle too? Yes. Bless your little heart. The second week of their cycle, and the second section to any decent consult, is, so you got marketing. Step 2 is, what is my file in? What am I taking in? So when the client comes in, you got to remember their mindset is about keeping their home. That is the client I predominantly want to work with. Okay. Then you set up the short sale file, which includes taking the offer from the buyer. So I've got to get the buyer into a mindset and the buyer's agent into a mindset. And the last is what I call sit-stay education. If my seller does not sit and stay educatedly, they're going to kill my deal, aren't they? These are all really important. What I've seen, this is where every short sale breaks down. And it breaks down in these sections. So the person who, personally, if in an ideal world, everybody handles one section in a drone-like manner. I have one person who just does marketing. I have one person who just does the client and prep, does the prep on the clients. The third is the processor. This is an important person in my little universe. And they're the ones who set up the file. They're the ones who create the story. They're the ones who ultimately create and prep the file for submission. Okay? There is a whole step on the processor. If you want to know if you have a good processor, there is a test. I have created a test. Get a 40-page file with no information in it. Make sure it has nothing. Then I want you to take a single page of a 401k or something minor, or put something in a hardship. Doesn't really matter. You personally, intentionally add something to the file that you know would hurt it on the back end. Give it to your processor. Ask them to review it and see if it's ready to be submitted. If they don't catch it, fire them. Apathy of processors is the #1 cause for short sales not closing. Why? You're paying them $10 an hour to sit and talk to people. What is their inspiration to closing the file? If it's you doing the work, you're all over the place, and you're not focused and coherent. The processor is equally as important to the process, okay? Which takes us to our next step, the process. This is the big plug for Short Sale Genius. Ta-da! Step 4, Short Sale Genius. What do you want me to say? Or get a mitigation company that knows what they're doing. You need to submit it, you need to confirm the submit, you need to process it, you need to know how to escalate it. That's what it takes to get it through a bank. The bank section. For the people that I'm going to do this engine for on a 6-week cycle, they're going to learn how to use Short Sale Genius stuff in a way they've never used it before, because most people don't use it that way. Get a mitigation company. I don't care who it is. Somebody better understand step 4 and better be closing consistently in 60 to 90 days, period. And if not, going back to the processor thing, fire them. It's a true story. If I have 50 files, 20 files, 100 files, you should be closing 20%. of your pipeline per month to be efficient. I have friends up in San Jose. They have 70 files. Last month they closed none. This month they've closed 4. This is an office I consulted with. Built him an engine that looks just like this. He says, Lee, I don't think it's working, whatever you did. I said, no, I know exactly what's wrong. Step 3. And they're all family and they're all friends and you won't execute. That's the truth. Too close to emotional. This is business. You're in the business of helping your homeowners. And if you're concerned about your little $10 an hour processor who can't do the job that you've hired, have them set up a file. Have them go sit open houses if you don't want to fire them. But hire somebody who can get the job done. Why don't I mitigate at my company? I am not a processor. I understand it. I could probably do it if I had to. I don't have the patience. Although I've worked on it diligently, I still have not found a way for me to sit there and listen to just such awful BS out of the bank. I watched Diana and I'm like, that's amazing. How do you do it? It's an amazing... I watch it in my own office. I sit at my computer and I do my thing. And I'm like, how do you do that? Just sit there and smile and eat that crap up with a fork. First words out of my mouth would be, you know you're lying to me, right? I mean, can't we just cut to the chase on this? Why don't you just tell me how you're going to foreclose and tell me how I got to give you the deficiency and my client has to sign the unsecured note and how I'm not getting any commission so that we can just get to the bottom line here. Well, sir, I don't like the way you're talking to me. Click. Yeah, that's what they would do. That's what they would do. Got to be nice. And then be nice again. Be nice even more. The last part is the close, and that's a big deal to me. Your letter and closing out the file are 2 different things. Baiting and switching still occurs out of the bank, because the bank would never lie to you, because they're in a fiduciary responsibility with you. They would never tell you it's approved and everything's hunky-dunky and then give you an approval letter that has no bearing on the file you just worked on. That has never happened to anybody in this room ever. And anybody watching this video going, how are you seeing into my mind? It's a bait and switch. Geez, it's the oldest trick in the book. I saw it on Fremont last night. Bait and switch happens all over the place, okay? What I was more shocked by, because I was sort of in bank guy mentality mode last night, I could identify every predator and dangerous person across the... And even the ones you didn't think were, I know you're a bad scooter. I know you're the bad one in the pile. Bank guy mind. Bad place to be. Last but not least, and this is the one that everybody forgets, and I want to point it out, is the referral process. I don't know why we don't follow up on our clients after the fact, why we don't create newsletters, why we don't cycle that again, because this should feed itself after a while. Once you're up to 50, 60 files, it should be generating on its own. If I'm closing 20%, I shouldn't even have to market anymore. You can theoretically eliminate marketing out of the pipeline at some point. It should feed itself. Because I know above 50 files or so, people will start bringing you files in unreal numbers. Truth is, you start closing 5, 10, 15, 20 files. We've seen it in our own office. Once we started, it's exponentially gone up every week. Okay? People just want somebody competent to work on their files. You guys are all capable of it. It's simple. That's how you process. Everybody following that? Do I have any questions? Or are you all just stunned because Lee went in another direction again?
This is wonderful.
Then you like the new presentation, sweetie?
This is great.
Yeah, that's what you're going to get on your 6-week cycle with Short Sale Genius. I hate to give him a huge plug at this moment because it's my event. Somehow Trent and Ryan have worked their way into my event. Trent right now is doing a presentation in Orange County that I was double booked at, and I would rather be here because I booked this 2 weeks ago for 60 people. Look at them all. All right. So I opened up my own mitigation company. Here's my last little thing. I opened up my own mitigation company, Fast Short Sales. It's right downstairs. It's in this building. I bought this building for one reason. I bought into this building for one reason. I wanted all the empty space. It was pretty simple. Let's think about this. Lee.honish is doing mitigation. On paper, it sounds really skippy, doesn't it? All right, it's really Diana. I don't want to give a lot of credit on video. All right, she does ask me direct next actions because I am competent enough to give direct next actions. And I would like to thank everybody who's had to consult with me, including my daughter who've worked on my patients. Diana would personally like to thank them. I'm able to give coherent next actions. I now do coaching programs for Short Sale Genius. I'm coherent. I give good next actions. Ask Tanya. She's like my biggest raving fan based on that marketing piece that got her. She spent $33 on marketing and got a $10,000 deal on an NOD list. That one file. That piece.